Hi everyone, it's Shari here, and I'm going to be showing you how to make some simple paper ornaments for your Christmas tree using some background stamps. I had a little video trouble with my first piece of my video, so my red circles are already cut out here. I actually punched those out first and then I inked them with the background stamp. This is another method of doing it. You can cut out a standard size card and go ahead and make a patterned piece of paper using your background stamp. For the red I was using scraps, and so that's why I didn't ink the paper first and then punch out the circles. But you can do it either way depending on what you're using. So I have this nice patterned piece of paper here with the tartan background, and I'm just using my 2-inch circle punch to punch out these circles. So I'm showing you how to make a really simple one. These are great. I had a friend who did this and put these on the bottom of her tree because she had a little kid. And if they get a hold of these, it's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt them. It's just some paper. You can also make these out of other shapes as long as they're symmetrical and they can be folded. I have some triangles here that I cut with some dies, and I'll show you the ornament I made with those later. So I'm just going to take my white gel pen and do a little faux stitching around the edges, which you can already see I've done on the red ones. If you wanted to spend a little more time, you could probably do this with actual thread and stitching. So I've cut 2-inch circles here, and so I want to score them right at 1 inch. And that's partly why I use my 2-inch circle, because it's easy to figure out the measurements. And I'm going to line up my background stamp so that it's going to be the same on every piece, and the pattern will be turned at a diagonal. So once you have them all scored, they'll easily fold right in half. And I'm going to be making this ornament alternating red and green. So you want to fold your pieces, and you want to put a little glue on the back side of half of one of these. And I'm trying to get my glue out. It's getting towards the end. And then you just want to line those two pieces up together. It's easy to line up the folded side, I think, best. And they'll open up just like this. You can clean off that extra glue you see me doing out there. So you're going to want to just alternate the colors and keep going around until you have all 8 of these pieces adhere to each other. So I've actually did the 2 halves here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue one side to each other. Sometimes it's easier to do the 2 halves depending on how thick your paper is, because you're going to end up with a pretty thick stack here. So I'm just going to glue these 2 pieces together. You can see how it's going to open up, and I'm going to glue the 2 remaining sides together, but first I'm going to make a hanger out of some twine. So I'm just going to pull off a good bit of twine here, and I'm going to make a little loop at the top. And this is what the ornament's going to hang from. And then I'm just going to loop it back through itself and tie a knot. And the knot will be at the bottom of the loop, but it will be at the top of the ornament. And then I'm going to put some glue down the spine that we have here. It's kind of like the spine of a book. And that will just help to hold that twine in place. And then I'm going to put glue on one of the sides, and then I'll complete the circle. Just like that. So now I want to make a tassel for the bottom of my ornament, and I just have a little scrap piece of paper here that I'm going to wrap this twine around a few times. The more times you wrap it, the fuller the tassel will be, so this may all depend on how big of a die cut or ornament you make. And then I'm going to take this tail that's left here and I'm going to string it underneath that wrapped twine. This might actually have been easier to do if I hadn't already glued the ornament onto the twine, but it's not such a big deal, but it may find it easier that way. Then I'm going to slide my scissors underneath and I'm going to cut that twine right down the center to create the tassel and get it off the card. So next I'm going to cut a piece here to tie around the top to create the top part of the tassel, and I cut it long enough so that it can hang down and also become part of the tassel. You want to tie it in a couple knots and make sure it's nice and tight. So now it's all tied, and I have these pieces. I'm going to pull them all down together, and then I'm going to take my scissors and trim them off so they're all the same length. So we have a nice even tassel. Now you could also embellish this with glitter. Here's the ornament I made using the triangles. I only did 4 pieces instead of 8, and I added a jingle bell at the bottom. Some other options are using pattern paper or varying the colors, varying the backgrounds, and using glitter as well. So the possibilities are endless. Thanks for watching. Bye.